So now that we know how to read a text file, text data, it's time to explore the dataset. So before diving deep into cleaning the dataset and processing that, it's very useful to first explore the dataset and know more about it. For example, how many rows are there in the dataset? So remember that we are currently working with SMS spam collection dataset, which is a dataset containing some labels, ham or spam, and some text message. So we can explore the total size of the dataset, then how many labels are spam and ham, in what ratio. Is the dataset skewed more towards having spam dataset or ham levels, or are they balanced? Then we can also explore how many columns are missing, like some label is present but text message is not there, or some text message is there but the label is not present. So those data will not be useful for us. So we will first get rid of them, as those will not be useful. So let's see all of these one by one. So we will open our notebook. So earlier we had read the data and we had printed it here, the first 5 rows. So we had not added our column labels. So let's first write it. So first we will read the data set, and then to add the column names we will just set dataset dot columns equal to, and then the column names. So it will be labels, and then the second column is SMS. And now let's run it. So we did not print our first 5 rows. So now you see that we have the label and SMS and we have the data. So now it's time to explore the data. So the first thing is shape of data. So how many rows are there, or how many rows and columns are there? So we will print input data has, so simply length of dataset. It will give the number of rows in the dataset. So this many rows, and dataset dot columns will return this list of 2 elements, and its length will be 2. Now let's print it. So it has 5572 rows and 2 columns. Now that we know about the shape of our dataset, it's time to explore how many labels are there. So how many ham versus spam are there? So we will write ham versus spam. So we will print it should be dataset whose label is equal to ham. So data set whose label is ham, it will return 1 for all those rows. And then we need to find its length. So let's run it. So it prints number of ham. So similarly we will do for spam. So we see that most of the rows are ham and very less are spam. So we can also see there that spam are not so common as ham. So we get some idea about our data set. Now it's time, very important info before we build our classifiers. And so it's very important to understand what is the ratio of a spam and ham in your data set. So to build any classifier, we will need to train it on a number of labels corresponding to both spam and ham. So if we just go ahead and use this data set without knowing it, it may not be a good classifier. Now let's look at the last point, which is, are there any missing labels in the data set? Missing labels or even text. So let's go ahead and do that. So missing data. So missing label we will see. So we will use the isNull function. So when it will be missing, that is, it is null, then it will return 1. And we will need to do the sum of that. So let's run it. So this is just for labels. We will do the same thing for message also. And for both the cases, it's 0. So our data set does not have any missing message or labels. So that's all. You can do further exploration on your own. This was just a basic way of exploring your data set. So in the next video, we will see what are the various pipelines in the machine learning. So thanks for watching.